Chapter 1, The Invitation. The small town of Willow Creek, nestled deep in the heart of New England, had always been a place shrouded in mystery. With its dense forests, fog-covered lakes, and centuries-old architecture, it was a perfect setting for ghost stories and folklore. However, it was the series of unexplained occurrences that truly cemented its reputation as a hotspot for the supernatural. Emily Carter, a seasoned journalist with a knack for uncovering the truth, had spent years writing about the mundane, but her true passion lay in the unexplained. After the success of her first book on urban legends, she decided to start a YouTube series dedicated to investigating paranormal phenomena. When she received a cryptic email from an anonymous source about Willow Creek, she knew she had found her next project. The email spoke of strange happenings in Willow Creek, shadows that moved on their own, whispers in the night, and a sense of foreboding that had settled over the town like a thick fog. Intrigued, Emily assembled her team: Jason, a tech-savvy videographer with a fascination for the paranormal, and Sarah, a skeptical but open-minded historian with a deep knowledge of the occult. Chapter 2, Our Rivalti trio arrived in Willow Creek on a chilly autumn afternoon. The town, with its cobblestone streets and Victorian houses, looked picturesque but felt eerie. The townsfolk were friendly but reserved, casting wary glances as Emily and her team set up their equipment at the local inn. Their first night was uneventful, but as they reviewed the footage the next morning, Jason noticed something peculiar. In one of the frames, a shadow darted across the room, even though no one had moved. Determined to get to the bottom of this, they decided to visit the town's historical society. The society's curator, an elderly woman named Agnes, welcomed them warmly. She shared the town's history, filled with tales of witch trials, tragic deaths, and mysterious disappearances. One story stood out: the legend of the Holloway Mansion. Chapter 3, The Holloway Mansion. Holloway Mansion, perched on a hill overlooking Willow Creek, had been abandoned for over a century. Once the home of the influential Holloway family, it was said to be cursed after the mysterious death of Margaret Holloway, who was rumored to have been involved in witchcraft. Since then, anyone who had dared to live there experienced misfortune and terror. Determined to investigate, Emily and her team made their way to the mansion. The air grew colder as they approached, and the once grand structure loomed ominously. Inside, the mansion was a decaying labyrinth of dust-covered furniture, peeling wallpaper, and creaking floorboards. They set up their cameras and began their investigation.
As night fell, the atmosphere grew thick with tension. Shadows seemed to dance in the corners of their eyes, and the sound of distant whispers echoed through the halls. Sarah, ever the skeptic, suggested it was just the wind, but when the whispers coalesced into a chilling voice calling Emily's name, doubt began to creep into her mind. Chapter 4, The Seance. The next day, the team decided to conduct a seance. Hoping to communicate with whatever entity resided in the mansion, they invited Agnes to join them, given her extensive knowledge of the town's history. With candles flickering in the room bathed in an airy glow, they joined hands and began. At first, nothing happened. Then, the temperature in the room plummeted, and the candles flickered violently. The table shook, and a ghostly figure appeared in the doorway. It was a woman, her eyes hollow and filled with sorrow. She spoke in a voice that echoed through their minds, revealing herself as Margaret Holloway. Margaret told them of her tragic love affair with a man from the village, her wrongful accusation of witchcraft, and her untimely death at the hands of a fearful mob. Her spirit had been trapped in the mansion, unable to move on due to the violent injustice she had suffered. Chapter 5, Confrontation. Margaret's story filled Emily with a sense of purpose. They had to help her find peace. The next day, they delved into the town's archives, uncovering documents and personal letters that corroborated Margaret's tale. They found the name of her lover, Edward Thompson, who had mysteriously disappeared shortly after her death. As they pieced together the puzzle, strange occurrences escalated. The inn's walls bore cryptic messages, objects moved on their own, and an overwhelming sense of dread settled over the town. It became clear that something or someone did not want them uncovering the truth. Emily and her team decided to confront the source of the disturbances. They returned to the mansion, where the air crackled with malevolence. As they navigated the dark corridors, they were met with terrifying apparitions and unearthly wails. Jason's equipment picked up disturbing electromagnetic readings, suggesting a powerful entity was at play. In the mansion's basement, they discovered a hidden room filled with occult symbols and ancient artifacts. There, they found Edward's journal, detailing his and Margaret's secret meetings and his desperate attempts to save her from the mob. It ended abruptly, hinting at his capture and murder. Chapter 6, Exorcism. Realizing they needed to cleanse the mansion of its dark energy, They called upon Father O'Malley, the town's priest, who had experience with exorcisms. That night, the group gathered in the mansion, ready to perform the ritual.
As Father O'Malley chanted prayers, the room shook violently. Shadows twisted and writhed, and a deafening roar filled the air. Emily clutched the journal, reading aloud. Edward's final words of love and regret. Suddenly, a blinding light enveloped the room, and the malevolent presence shrieked in fury before dissipating into nothingness. In the aftermath, a sense of calm settled over the mansion. Margaret's spirit appeared one last time, her expression peaceful. She thanked them for revealing the truth and helping her find Edward. Together, their spirits faded into the light, finally free. Epilogue, Revelations. With the mystery of the Holloway mansion resolved, Emily and her team returned to the inn, exhausted but triumphant. They had not only uncovered a tragic love story, but had also brought peace to restless souls. The footage they captured was compelling, sure to captivate their growing audience. As they packed their gear, Agnes approached them, her eyes twinkling. She revealed that she had been the one to send the email, hoping someone would finally uncover the truth and lift the curse from her beloved town. Emily smiled, grateful for the experience. They had come to Willow Creek in search of a story, but found much more a deeper understanding of the supernatural, the importance of history, and the power of truth. As they drove away, they knew this was just the beginning of their journey into the unknown. And so, the series Shadows Unveiled was born, chronicling their adventures and investigations into the world's most haunted and mysterious places. With each new case, they hoped to bring light to the darkness, one story at a time.